Alright, what's up guys? So for today's video, it's going to be a little something different. I'm going to do a video where I compare Riverdale characters to characters in my favorite books that I read so far this year. Alright, so let's jump into it. So the first character I'm choosing is Cheryl Blossom. And for her description, I put broken and never understood. So the book that I picked for her is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. And pretty much this book is about a girl named Charlie Davis who first starts out in a mental hospital, and then she gets released, and she's supposed to be with her mom, but she doesn't end up with her mother. Her mother leaves her at a bus stop and drops her off and tells her, go figure out the world, go do whatever you have to do. Just don't put me in it. And this book reminded me of Cheryl because in season 1 and all the way to season 3, we see how her mom really does not respect her, does not care for her, does not love her like she's supposed to. And the only time she ever gets real love is from Tony, her girlfriend, or from her grandma, Nana. And for character number 2 that I chose is Betty Cooper, and I put she's the girl next door slash detective. And for her, I'm doing James Patterson, Unsolved. And so I chose this book because it's a murder mystery slash thriller, and it has this girl named Ellis who's really good at, one, being a detective, and two, she tries to keep a relationship while she's working for the FBI. But throughout the whole book, we see how she chooses her job over the man that she wants. And this reminded me of Buddy so much because in second season and late of first season, her and Jughead get together, but then they keep breaking up because they can't seem to figure out how to make their relationship work so that both of them can be happy along with their families and along with their friends. And so for character 3, that brings me to Mr. Jughead Jones. And I chose The Broken Girls by Simone James. And for this one, it's about an old school called Idlewild. And a girl named Deb goes missing. She's found 10 days later, dead. And then 60 years before her, there's another girl who goes missing. Her name is Sonia, and she ends up dead the exact same way. And so people are trying to figure out, why is this happening again? How did this happen? And is it the same person, or is it two different people murdering different girls, or do the two people know each other? And I chose Jamie, that plays a police cop who turns to detective, and he finds different ways of trying to get it, but he also has a girlfriend who's a journalist, and journalists and cops do not match together. And so they ended up having a huge fight that breaks them apart for a really long time till you get to the end of the book and you realize, okay, maybe we do have something here, maybe we can make this work. And then finally they say yes to each other. And that leads me into Miss Veronica Lodge. And she is known as the rich girl who came from New York, who went back to a small town so that her father can have like a new start and not be caught up in the embezzlement and fraud that he was in while he was in New York. So I chose a classic, Pretty Little Liars, and I chose Alison De Laurentiis because Alison De Laurentiis is known to be bitchy, petty, snarky, pretty much your average day mean girl. That's Alison, and I feel like Veronica, before she came to Riverdale, she had that attitude, but then once she started finding people who are more nicer and more understanding, that's when she broke down her walls and became the Alison that we know from the perfectionist, who is more nice, who's more competent with who she is, and the fact that her love for Emily got her to that point in her life. And finally, for the last character, we have Mr. Archie Andrews himself. And so for him, he plays the guy next door, next to the girl next door, who's been best friends with Betty for ever, pretty much. but he ends up falling for Veronica. And I ended up choosing Mr. Jacob from Twilight to play Archie, because Jacob and Archie tend to have the same thing where Jacob wants Bella, but Bella chooses Edward. And it's almost like how Betty wants Archie, but Archie ends up choosing Veronica, which really hurts her in the beginning, but she realizes, oh, we were just meant to be friends, and that Jughead was the one for me, versus how Bella's like, no, me and Edward are meant to be together. Jacob, you'll find your person later, even though he never really ended up finding a person for himself. But anyways, that's today's video. Let me know in the comments who your favorite Riverdale character is. For me, it's Cheryl. She's awesome. She's a badass. Love her. Peace.